Don't you know? Don't you know? Live at IceWorks, the home of Summer Series. I am Frankie James with your, as always, Ryan, the main man, the winner of the battle. Florida wins, and we're definitely going to be talking about a little bit about the Stanley Cup on this show. But before we get into it, make sure you're following Chirping Pucks Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Official Chirping Pucks YouTube channel is Chirping Pucks Media. Ryan, how you doing, brother? You're looking good. You kind of look like somebody I know.
I'm legally blind now, so I have to wear glasses sometimes now. But I feel fantastic.
I love the glasses. I think it's a solid look.
I have something look. I want to say to you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh,
okay. Back to back,
man. Didn't think it was going to happen. I knew it was going to be a great series, and we'll definitely be diving into. We got our good friend Jeremy coming on. He is backstage right now. We'll be having him come on for the second half of the show to talk Stanley Cup final. Most people remember Jeremy. Jeremy's one of our first guests that we had on the Frank the Tank show. Long time, first time more or less. Long time with the Chirping Pucks. First time with Chirping Pucks. But yeah, man, back to back, dude. But like, listen, you won, dude. You won. And with that being said, since Florida won, Ryan will be the host of the show. Not tonight. We'll let him come up with his own topics. But Ryan will be the host of the show. I'm pumped up, dude. By the way, I don't know if anybody knew, but breaking news, I did get my hair cut. Shout out to Aunt Paula for a little haircut there. No, that's okay too. Love the hoodie. But let's get into it, dude. We already got some comments checking in. Thanks everybody for watching, by the way. Shout out to Mom. We love our moms. Let's go Panthers. She was pretty pumped up. And
sure, the phone call last night.
Hey, baby, our main man, Sean Ennis, checking in. What's going on, buddy? I hope you're doing well. We're on a bye week right now, so I don't know where you are. Imagine if Ennis all of a sudden just came on the show, like he was here at IceWorks or something.
Yeah, he's there practicing how to take face-offs again.
Oh, shots fired. Stevie Bates, my main man. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, dude. Good to see you. A lot of comments, man. Thanks, everybody, for checking in here. We're live at IceWorks, the home of Summer Series this weekend. We got the Gremlins and the Americans playing behind us right now in the playoffs. It is a 4-1 game. Gremlins are up with 2:21 left in the third period. Gremlins are making their way to the championship. My main man, Mancini, the Mancini Cup. What's up, boys? Ryan getting the promotion. Well, with promotion comes good opportunities, kind of like the opportunity you gave us during your tournament to absolutely get destroyed. Really appreciate that.
It's still rigged. Thank you, Mike, for the lovely words, but it's still rigged.
Right when he thinks he's safe. The boys of the Chirping Pucks podcast back.
Just don't believe the glasses. They're not for show.
No, they look good. But listen, let's get into it. We finalized our roster today. Summer Series live at IceWorks this weekend. Chirping Pucks hockey team will be playing in the tournament, and we're pumped. Like, we're super pumped up. So let's actually give a little teaser. I know we were talking about the roster and stuff like that, but we're gonna plug the roster that we have right now, and there it is. Wow. A little teaser.
Wow.
And we're going to talk more about the roster. Well, let's get into it. This is the official roster of the Chirping Pucks hockey team in Summer Series. Ryan kicking us off, as always, part of the team. And then we got Andy Coulter. Crawl Daddy, shout out to Crawl Daddy. Helped tremendously getting some players late. Bringing in Andy, who's an absolute stud. Really excited to play with Geidel, with Brandon. Absolute stud of a defenseman and a brawler. Dan Smine, good friend. Zach coming in hard on the defense. Brandon Reese and Dylan, they're buddies of Crawl from the Twitch community. Shout out. Nate Mayers, our good friend Nate Mayers, our former arch nemesis in the shootout. There was a little bit of controversy there where Nate thought that I cheated. But I didn't cheat, I won. And then we got me. I'll be just doing my thing the best that I can in this tournament, just feeding the boys. But Crawl Daddy, we got Crawl Daddy back in gear. Can't wait to play with them. Absolutely. And big shout out to him for helping me, get the tournament, getting the team together late. We've been building teams left and right, but yeah, we're super excited. A few comments checking in. Pat Bernard, what's going on? Don't you know? Hi. We got some fans, some guests walking by. Johnny Hood, Summer Series. Let's talk about checking for charity. Yeah, well, I mean, how can we not talk about checking for charity, especially with some of the additions that we got there? But there's a time and place, Johnny Hood, and we'll make sure that you're on the show. But, dude, the roster, we're set. We're final. Look at this roster, and obviously there's some guys on here that I haven't played with, some guys that you haven't played with. I mean, obviously, I'm just going to throw it out there. I always get pumped up to play with Crawl. Create some content, and just watch him absolutely do his thing. He does this thing where he is notorious for it, where he'll put his back towards the play and still start trying to save pucks. Absolute animal, Ryan. And I can't wait. Listen, I'm pumped, brother. I'm pumped. We're 2 days away. You're 2 days.
You know what I'm excited for?
Tell me.
You got to put it back on the screen, man.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Here.
That one particular name on that list. My guy, my teammate, my Sergei Fedorov of the Monsters, Matty Patton. One of the best fun, one of the most talented players I've gotten to play with, especially over here at IceWorks, but also probably one of the most humble guys that you could ever meet. I mean, an absolute stud, coast to coast, incredible player. Menace, absolute menace. He'll torture you any way he wants with the puck, but off the ice, sweet as pie. Although, are we putting a ban on walking around nude? Because we know Matty's known for just the whole locker room. He's always naked in the locker room. I'm like, bro, like absolute beautiful human being, But I'm like, bro, like. I've seen everything for the past 7 seasons. Like, I'm done. Like,
dude, and he's all tatted up. And we got a Crawl Daddy checking in right now. Studs, brother. The roster's official. We got your picture on there. We got the boys are going to be buzzing. Yeah, Matty's insane. I was telling Brad earlier, actually, like that the defense that we got in front of him is absolutely stellar. Mm-hmm. So this is the lineup. We'll be sharing this out on our social medias for everybody to see. But we just want to put it out there. It is official. I'll be sending the roster over to the commissioner, Steve Ains. Shout out for throwing another good tournament. And then we'll finalize everything on getting paid. But let's talk about the schedule. That we have. I definitely just want to give some props to the commissioners because, boy, either they thought that we were going to be absolutely terrible or they just were in favor of the Chirping Pucks hockey team because they kick us off with the free agent teams Friday, 6:50 p.m., the first game of the tournament, Chirping Pucks versus the Tier 2 free agents. Now, obviously, free agent team, not sure who's going to be on there. I have gotten word that the villain himself, Sean Hastings, will be on that team. Looking forward to playing against him, as always. And honestly, I mean, with all due respect, we're absolutely going to dominate this team. I mean, with the club that we have, and with the club that the free agent team has, I mean, I don't even know who's on there. But they're not going to stand a chance. And just to put it out there, Ryan is going to be doing a double. He's going to be leaving a little bit early on our game, and as he should, because he's got his hockey team right over here at rank 1. So right after our game, come on over, show some support for Ryan and the Monsters. Great team. Should be a really, really good time. But what do you think? I mean, Tier 1 free agent team kicking us off. We're kicking off Summer Series. Absolutely. What do you think, bud?
You never know what could happen. I'm excited anyway, just to play hockey with a bunch of guys that love hockey. But you never know what could happen. It could go either way.
Could you imagine?
It could be dominant on our side, and they can kick our ass too. I mean, who knows what can happen, dude? I mean,
if they kick our ass,
I might retire.
I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight. Or I'm gonna pull on Matty Patton and just be nude the rest of the weekend.
He yelled at us the other night. Last game we played, he yelled at us.
Oh, he yelled at you guys. Oh, by the way, real quick, the game just ended. Gremlins win 4-2. Final. Moving on to the championship matchup. I believe that's going to be tomorrow. So, congratulations to the Gremlins and congratulations to the Americans on a good spring league, as well as summer league, and looking forward to seeing them back in the UWHL. But the Gremlins, what a big win! Shout out to the Grems. But yeah, I have no worries here. I have no worries with this team. This is just going to be a warm up. This is going to be the game where the boys are just getting to know each other, just having a good time.
And there's a liquor store across the street. So
There's a liquor store across the street. And now speaking of liquor store, hold on one second. Hey, how you doing, honey? Miss Erica Bear, who is that sexy new host that looks like Clark Kent. Honestly, he could be she could be talking about you, dude.
she is probably talking about me.
She said, "Who is that sexy new host that looks like Clark Kent?" And it actually looks like you. So with that being said, we're done. We're done.
Cancel the show. We're no more. We're no longer friends. It's over and done with.
We're done.
Mr. Steal Your Girl is back.
Mr. Steal Your Girl is back. Oh,
All
man.
because of glasses.
Listen, I'm a big fan of the glasses. And real quick, just for Summer Series coming up, make sure you follow the UAHL on their social media. Not only do they have a great tournament coming up here live at IceWorks, but they have an incredible league. Looking forward to getting back to playing with them in the near future. But I'm really excited for the tournament this weekend. So we kick off Friday, and then obviously we're going to show some support for the Monsters right after, and then we get some rest, and then Saturday it is here. And Saturday, Game 2 at 12:15, we got Moonshine. We got the Moonshine Hockey Club, which is probably part of the top 4 that's going to make it to the playoffs. Ran by Meatball, and little spoiler alert. We probably are going to be doing another live show at 11 a.m. on Saturday where we'll have Meatball and Zach Candelore on the show right before our matchup, talking about the matchup, talking a little hockey. This is going to be a tough one. I checked their roster out. They're ready to play. The Moonshine are absolutely ready to play. I think this is our toughest matchup in the 3 games that we play. But I'm confident. Because we're going up against guys that I know and that we know and that I've always wanted a little piece of. Meatball's a friend, but I got to get in his head. He likes to do a little bit of this, and
I know.
Oh, don't you know?
There's a revenge game coming on between me and him.
Oh, a little revenge game, huh? Oh, sounds like a little history there.
Oh, there's a little bit of history between me and him.
A little bit of history, and he's a center too. So you guys might be lining up against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Take them down, brother. Take them down. But they got weapons all over the place. They have a good team, good ran team. But I'm not counting us out. I'm absolutely not counting us out. Not with Crawl Daddy back there. Not with the players that we have, and even some of our weaker players, more or less, compared to some of the guys. We know how to play hockey. We know how to play positional hockey. I know that I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be calling for the puck and trying to make the big move. Like I'm going to play smart hockey. I'm going to get in front of the net, be an absolute menace, sauce the biscuits to the guys, and let them do the work, man. And just get in everybody's head. I mean, honestly,
that was beautifully put there, Coach.
It's true.
Just remember, guys, I'm going to get the puck on the boards. I'm going to rim it around at 70 miles an hour and blow right past you so you can't catch the pass. And then I'm going to yell at you because you missed my pass, but you're the one that shot it like you're a state trooper chasing after doing the highway. Like, come on now, man. But beautiful speech by you.
That's
Way
actually
to go, Herb Brooks.
exactly what I do on defense is I rim it around as hard as I can, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And you look like me, too. Jesus Christ.
Don't you know? Don't you know? No, Frankie, we don't know. We never know. You don't know either.
Honestly, I don't know if I know. I think that's the big question, actually. Frankie, we actually do want to know. What do you know?
That should be a gut question for one series. What does Frankie really know what the hell is going on?
Oh, my. You know what? I think I do. But that's why I have you, Ryan.
That's a gut check question.
We might be having a special guest. Might be having a special guest, buddy. I'm live on the show. Come pop on. Might have a little special guest coming on, a little special live one. But moving on. Big game here, Moonshine. I think that I'm not counting us out, but this is going to be a tough one. But I'm excited. I'm excited to play against the guys. And then at 4:30, we have Piccolo Joe. Piccolo Joe is a team out here in IceWorks, sea level. Mike Burr.
Pizzeria?
No, it's a coffee shop, actually. I actually just saw it for the first time. So I think
decaf. Get your decaf.
Well, that's exactly
decaf.
Well, speaking of decaf, that's actually how they're going to be playing is like decaf. I think that we absolutely romp them as well. And
team, though.
Mike Burr, if you're listening, which you're probably not, and you're not here either, good luck. But I think that your time's up. The time's up in Summer Series. Your debut Mike Burr's debut in the UAHL Summer Series tournament is going to be a shitty one because the Chirping Pucks hockey team is coming. And if we come in, whether we're 2-0 or we're 1-1, we're looking to make a statement going into that playoffs. And then 4:30, Piccolo Joe. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be great. Not only do we have hockey tournaments, but the U actually has like an open skate for families. They obviously have the raffle baskets going on for U charities, which is always an incredible thing that they do. It's other than hockey, it's a great weekend of hockey. It's summertime, beautiful weather, but there's going to be a lot of other fun things going on. Obviously, Ryan has his game with the Monsters that we're going to be checking out. We'll be doing some shows, the open skate, the raffles. It's just going to be a good weekend. Other than playing, Ryan, I actually want to know, how are you feeling about the weekend? What do you getting pumped up?
I'm confident this time. I think I feel a lot better than what happened 2 weekends ago.
Well, we don't have the Mancini effect on us. He's never lived that down, dude. Right when he thinks he's safe coming in on the show, boys, great show so far. Yeah, it's almost as good as the way that your team played against us.
I think, and it's also a little bit different. They're coming to our home turf, so we know. You know what?
That's
we
the
know
way we
the rinks.
look at it.
We know the rinks. So,
bro, I didn't even think about that.
They're coming to our turf.
That's a good point you make there. This is our turf, You're coming over to IceWorks. You're coming over to our home turf. Already gives us the home field advantage. The fans, the refs, everybody. Everybody there knows Ryan Hockey and Frankie James and the Chirping Pucks hockey team and Chirping Pucks media. We're fan favorites here. Okay?
I don't know much about you, but I am.
Come on. What do you mean, dude?
What do you do in the stands? Come on, let's go! Yeah,
let's go! Come on!
Whatever you do there.
That's awesome. That's what me and Brad do that. What do you mean? Let's check some comments out here. We got tons of them. We got Erica checks back in. Coffee shop inside of Sunoco. Check them out on intersection 202 and Baltimore Pike. Erica also checks in. That was a hilarious Frankie impression. Mikey Sheedy, what's going on, buddy? What's up, boys? Hey, buddy, how are you, man? Thanks for checking in. Aunt Paula, look at that new Brando do. This one's for Aunt Paula. Thank you, Aunt Paula, for doing that.
Sick.
She did my hair for me. Me.
Oh, okay.
I've been telling you, IceWorks is my rink, Erica says. Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. She used to chase the boys around here, brother.
Pretty sure it says IceWorks. IceWorks out front, not Erica Arena.
Yeah, just that's the name of the rink, just Erica.
Right. Unless her last name's Orthopedic.
I love it. And speaking of orthopedic, no better way than to get your BLB Bush League Beauties apparel. Not that had anything to do with what we were just talking about, but get on their website, BLB, one of the great sponsors of Check It for Charity. We have a discount code. 10% off using Chirping Pucks, CHIRPN, Pucks 10 on your first order. Get 10% off. We got some merch coming probably tomorrow. Merch might be here tomorrow. They sent us some cool mugs, and which we did a couple of photos. Nice little mug there. Shout out to the boys, to the BLB boys, for that little gift. But yeah, I'm really pumped up for Summer Series. I like the tournament play is always a good time. I mean, you're I don't know if you're Ryan Hockey or Ryan Tournament.
I don't know.
I tried that out. I guess I wasn't
at this point. I'm probably just Ryan Turney or Ryan Torney or whatever you want to.
Yeah, that sounded better in my head when I said it. I'm sorry about that, everybody. The Ryan Tournament didn't sound too good. I'm trying out new things, new hair, new look. Yeah, but check out Bush League. Check out the Bush League Beauties apparel. Social media and the website.
Did you get a shower today too?
I did get a shower this morning before work. Thank you for asking. And I got one after my haircut. So we got 2 showers today. Is that like a stinky thing? Like, do I stink? Do I stink?
The Geico caveman commercial was like 5 years ago, and you got rid of that facial hair, and then the haircut. You look better now. So the caveman commercial is out of your picture now.
Yeah, I was looking rough, man. It wasn't doing too good. Another comment checking in. Danny Dugan. one of my favorite DJs of all time. What's up, Frankie boy? Danny, how we doing, brother? I actually want to reach out to you. My number one merch guy. I mean, not merch guy. Memorabilia guy. I got a couple of big events coming up. I might have to snag a couple of puckies off you, my friend. Danny's a great hockey guy. We'll have to get Danny on here sometime soon. Big Flyers fan. But dude, if we get through this and we make the playoffs, I'll tell you this right now. One of the most things I'm excited about this tournament is having the opportunity to go against the Hawks. I never played against the Hawks. I never had a chance to play against Steve Ains, Larry, DeMarco. Never had the chance to do that. And they never played against me. They have no idea what I'm about to bring on that ice when it comes to just the way I play the game. Like my goal is just to absolute torment Steve Ains. He's a good player out there. Not much of a chirper, and I don't think people really chirp him too much either. But I'm the chirper, and I got an earful ready for him. DeMarco, clearly he's playing tier 2, so Gold gave up on him. We're ripping everybody right now. So DeMarco, apparently he quit Gold, so now he wants to drop down to tier 2, really show off those skills. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing against Steve Ains. I don't know what position he plays.
Is Jerry playing or no?
Jerry is also playing. The Jerry the Beeve, he'll be out there as well. Big tree fall hard. Put that puck between your legs again, Ronnie. Let's watch Jerry just fucking.
I gotta play Chell a couple more times to get my confidence back up. So,
dude, listen, that last game you played where I was out there with you guys doing the photo work, you were on. It was probably one of the best games I've ever seen you play. Let's bring that into the weekend. When Ryan's hot, it could be. It's a biggie because like obviously you play well, I can play well, but when you take it to that next level, which I've seen you do things that I didn't even know you were capable of doing. Like not talking crap, but like when you put that, because I got that photo when you came up the boards like that, and I got that photo of you, and then all of a sudden I stopped shooting and I was just watching you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And you put the puck right between your legs. What's up, guys? Got a couple of the boys walking by, they're buzzing.
Appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm excited. I got a feeling, dude. Hawks chirping pucks in the championship.
All right.
And listen, Crawl owns the Hawks. It used to be his kryptonite, but now he's come around. He's come around to taking care of business. But yeah, man. Anything else that you want to add? Once again, I'll throw our roster back up there. We are finalized. We'll be sending that over to the commissioner soon. Once again, Ryan King, assistant captain of the Chirping Pucks hockey team. Andy Coulter, Nate Mayers, myself, Brandon Reese, Brandon Geidel, Zach, Dan Smine, Maddie Patton, Dylan Phillips, and of course the one and only, the man between the pipes, Crawl Daddy.
Bradley.
Thanks, and just to throw it out there, guys, not sure who's watching from the team, but thank you so much for being a part of this. It was a little bit of a struggle to get everybody together and to find some players late, and we made it happen, and we're super pumped up, and I'm super pumped up to play with everybody that's going to be part of this team. I always love playing with new players, and yeah. Oh, comment here. Curtis checks in. I've never heard you chirp. Well, Curtis, thanks for checking in, by the way, brother. We haven't played against each other in a while, but I don't know how you could say that because just this past Monday, you cherry picked the entire time we were out there on Monday nights. You had about 6 breakaways, and I let you hear it. I told you, there's Curtis again with that breakaway. Unbelievable. Then again, he did have a pretty good club. But yeah, Curtis, I'm a chirper. I don't know how you could say that because one, you were on the Foundry team with me, and all I did was chirp and literally heckle the no deeks. So I don't even know how you could say that, brother. You know what I mean? Take it. Put down the scotch, dude. Leave the cat alone. Jesus Lord. Once again, another comment here. Thanks for everybody for checking on the show. We have a full house tonight. Our main man, Vic, CP Charities, en route to game. Hi, boys. And just a shout out, Vic made the graphic for us for the team. So we definitely appreciate that, brother. And good luck tonight, man. Good luck tonight. Final comment, Curtis. I was being sarcastic, tard. I respect that. He knows me. He knows me better than most people. But let's transition, man. And we got the Stanley Cup final ended last night. What a series. I mean, I was a little surprised on some things, but We got a special guest with us, my good friend Jeremy. Jeremy's been on the show quite a few times, and we're going to be getting him in here in about 3 minutes. Our 3-minute warning as we hit up a couple more of our sponsors real fast. Let's just do a little sponsor read here. Our good friend Kara Weber, looking to buy or sell your home. Reach out to Kara, hockey player, real estate agent, absolute stud, and the captain of the women's Chirping Pucks team. Super pumped. What do you think about the Chirping Pucks name for the women's team, by the way?
I actually like it.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I like it too. I appreciate that.
But
let's get them in here. The one, the only, the Raging Cajun, the Black Hawks fan of the night. Let's get him in here. The one and only Jeremy. Let's go, brother. Come on, welcome back, brother.
Great being here.
Oh, Jeremy, it's great to have you here, man. And you and I get, and just to recap, Jeremy's been on the show back when we're doing the Frank the Tank show. Jeremy is probably one of my favorite guests that I've ever had on. We usually do a Stanley Cup final show, and sometimes we'll do a draft show. We've been able to do that. This is Jeremy's 4th time on the show, and he never ever disappoints. Jeremy, thanks for being on, man. I really appreciate it. Just to kick us off, brother. Let's get right into it, man. As a whole, what did you think about the Stanley Cup final? Just as a whole, no wins, no losses. Like, what did you think? Was it exciting to you? Was it a letdown?
To a certain degree, I feel like it was a complete switch from the final last year, and that's kind of interesting considering it's the same two teams, where you had that kind of domination that was going on by Edmonton, and then it went to Florida. And then with this one, I believe that Florida, for the most part, took charge. Like, you had some really close games there, but I've got some stats that I'll probably drop in here and there actually really show how much dominance Florida really did have in that series, even though there were so many overtime games.
I mean, why even waste any time? The man, the myth, the legend, always coming prepared every time he joins the show. I mean, we were obviously talking, all 3 of us, last night about the game, and there was a key moment where I was away from my TV, and I look at my phone, and Jeremy makes a comment and says, "Man, this is one boring game." But now watch, the Edmonton Oilers will score 3 goals in the 3rd period. I was like, "Holy shit! Edmonton scored 3 goals, dude." Well, I gotta get back upstairs, and it was 3-0 Florida. So. There was a lot riding on that, obviously, with the bet, and obviously we talked about that before. Ryan will be hosting a show. His topics, he will be the man, the myth, the legend. I will be his right-hand guy.
Top secret.
I know, it should be exciting. But Jeremy, tell us, the kids keep rocking and rolling, man. I mean, Florida repeats. What did you notice? What did you notice about the game? You mentioned that you had some stats. I can't wait to hear about them. The fans are obviously really excited to hear about your takes as well, man.
Well, so everything begins with the first period, right? It doesn't matter what game, what series. And, just to give a few little stats here, when it comes to the first period for the Panthers, they outscored Edmonton 9-0.
Oh,
and
my
if we look
God.
at actual shot attempts, it was, 95-53 and shot attempts in the first period within that series. So if you want to talk about dominance in the start of a game, there it is right there. And that's really kind of what happened last night too. I mean, I don't know if we want to break down game by game, but that first goal, I in our chat, I was speaking about how Edmonton seemed to come out pretty strong those first few minutes. But after that first goal kind of came in, basically first shot, first goal, everything started to really shift over. And it just seemed that they were not even defensively able to get in order to be able to skate along with Florida. And so it was just a lot of dominance, straight out of that first goal.
And exactly to your point, you saw Edmonton really shoot the puck a lot. They got a lot of shots on net. But once Florida scored, that early goal, the fans, and then another one, and all of a sudden I'm just sitting here thinking, because obviously I wanted Edmonton to win. Aside from the bet, I want to see McDavid get it, but I'm sitting here watching, and I'm just like, Florida is just the momentum, the fans, they're just absolutely they're going to win this game. it's really cool to see, and we mentioned this too, like, just like how teams can continuously have great success. Like we saw it with Tampa Bay, we're seeing it now with Florida. The big question I believe was asked, and Ryan, I'll let you take lead on this one about the dynasty. Is this team a dynasty?
In my eyes, I mean, if you look at where they're at, with like a little known fact that for like this Stanley Cup Finals was the Panthers spent more time in leading during this Stanley Cup Finals than any other previous team, and it was 255 minutes and 49 seconds that they had the lead this whole Stanley Cup. So, and going back to Matthew Tkachuk's comment last night about them being a dynasty, I mean, for that team right there, I think they're in the progress of becoming one. Obviously, you saw Tampa Bay go back-to-back. Pittsburgh went back-to-back. Detroit went back-to-back. Oilers went, 4 in a row? The Islanders had back-to-back years ago.
Did Colorado win 3 in a row, or did they win 3 in 4 years?
I have no idea. I forget. You might be talking about, because I know, remember the Blackhawks and Kings. The Blackhawks and Kings was going kind of back and forth.
Yeah, the recent Avalanche. I feel, because I know Maroon won 3 in a row, but like I feel like the Avs didn't win 3 in a row. They won 2 in a row, but I think they won 3 in 4 years. I think you need more than 2 to be a dynasty. Incredible hockey team, but not a dynasty yet. I think you got to win 1 more, even if it's 1 more in 4 years. That to me shows dynasty. They're just a really great franchise.
Would you consider Edmonton a dynasty since they won 4 in a row back in the 80s? And I think it was 70s or 80s.
I think that was one of the best hockey teams that ever was around. I mean, that was an incredible team back then. Now, no, obviously, but like that back then, absolutely. Yeah, some of the greatest hockey players in the world on that team. So yeah, I would consider them a dynasty. How about you, Jeremy? Would you consider them a dynasty?
Well, so what my question would be is obviously Florida won last year, but where did they place the year before that?
They made it to the playoffs because that was the year they had Claude Giroux, and they lost in, I think, the first round.
No, they lost in the Stanley Cup Finals to Vegas. When Vegas won in 23, it was Florida and Vegas. Remember, it was the 9-3 game. They won. Vegas won the cup, and then last season is when they came out and they dominated, and then that's what started. So 2023, they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, but they lost to Vegas.
Really?
Giroux was – I don't even want to talk about Giroux because he's probably somewhere in Canada crying because he could have been a 2-time cup right now, but that's another story for another time.
Well, it's not his fault. They didn't have – you want to do the Claude Giroux talk really right now?
No. That's why I stopped.
Thank you.
But no, 2023 when Vegas won, Florida went to the Stanley Cup against them and then proceeded to go back-to-back.
Thanks, Desi, for checking in as well, man. We're going to miss you this weekend, buddy. They made the Stanley Cup, so he's confirming that you are correct, Ryan. Appreciate that. We got a couple more comments real fast. We'll just touch base on these real fast so people are chiming in. Thanks again, everybody, for commenting in. Oils wanted nothing to do with the Panthers' last 2 games. I mean, Panthers just override them. I mean, another great team, and some surprising thing. And a couple more comments here. Desi checks back in. Florida's relentless forecheck is something to behold. I saw them live in Eastern Conference Finals last year. The forecheck was an absolute machine. I'll ask you, can you name how many contributors on the bottom 6 of Edmonton showed up? Besides 4 guys, there was too many passengers. Florida is crazy deep. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, I mean, Ryan, was it Ryan or Jeremy that mentioned Hyndman? I think that might have been you, Ryan.
It was me, yeah. I said one time it went down, it was over for Edmonton. But they have the players. You have Connor Brown. If you can get Evander Kane out of the penalty box, he could be very helpful for them. Jeff Skinner stepped up a little bit, but you can't always rely on your bottom 6 guys. You have McDavid, you have Dries, you have Leon, you have Darnell Nurse. Like, these guys are looking for big contracts next year. And when what's going to happen there, we all know Edmonton has goalie issues right now. We all know that's a fact. It was proven throughout the playoffs that they have issues.
Issues forever.
Skinner comes in, blows a couple of games. Picker comes in, blows a couple of games. Like, where you go from here?
A lot of blowing, boys.
But I think Edmonton has the team to do it. I think I don't know what else they need to do to get over this hump, to get on top of the mountain, because to be Game 7 last year, you lose in Florida. Game 6 this year, you lose in Florida.
You got your ass kicked.
But I mean,
not only that, dude, they were flat. I mean, they had shots on that, but they were just absolutely flat. And I want to direct this question to Jeremy, and then Ryan, I want you to follow up. And once again, we have Jeremy on, our good friend over at over in California, but a big Blackhawks fan. Jeremy's been on the show a few times. He's back, and then we're talking Stanley Cup Finals. what do you think the Oilers need to do to get back there? And do they get back there? Is time running out? Do they only have 1 year or 2 years left before the team gets a little dismantled? Direct it towards Jeremy.
It really depends on what that cap space is. I don't have those numbers sitting in front of me, but when you do have some really big key pieces and their contracts are going to be coming up soon, that gets thinner and thinner and thinner. As a Blackhawks fan, I know what that is and what we could have really had when you want to talk about a major dynasty. It would have been crazy. But things always have to come to an end. And as we are sitting here and talking about, can the Florida Panthers do a three-peat?
Yes.
We have to look at the opposite end. And one thing that I mentioned in our conversations yesterday was, the Edmonton Oilers are kind of starting to become like the Buffalo Bills of the NHL. They're always hanging around in the playoffs, like say the Buffalo Bills do in the NFL. But like Buffalo Bills had those Super Bowl runs and they just could not win year after year after year. And we're starting to see that kind of happen with the Edmonton Oilers here in the Stanley Cup.
It's a great take.
So I don't know, there is no other pieces that they can really be adding. Defensive lockdown is something that's going to be key. They would say it was defensive disorganization is what I called it last night for them. They really couldn't even get set. There was no real physicality going on there. That might have to do a lot with your bottom six sort of rotation as well. And I'm not really stepping up that same way. But then, that goalie is that big piece. And, in the same way, I know it all rides on the goalie the way it rides on a quarterback in football. But if you don't really have that consistency, again, coming back to me being a Blackhawks fan and us not having goalie consistency, it's going to be really hard for you to, win games, let alone win cups.
You guys now have goalie inconsistency. You guys had Andy Niemi and Crawford. You guys were
but now
very good for a while. It's a great point too, Jeremy, and about where the defense obviously lacked. And so let me ask you a question. I'm gonna direct this one towards Ryan, and then Jeremy, I want to hear your take as well. Was it a bigger issue that Connor McDavid didn't score any goals, or was the goaltending issue worse?
No, I think Florida just shut Connor down. Plain and simple. I think the goaltender issues is far beside Connor and Leon. I just think that Florida had their number, knew how to shut him down, and he couldn't find the lane and what he had to do to get there. And the goaltending for them, I don't think that played any part to that. It's just owned by itself. Like Jeremy said, they had a defense. It was a defense collapse. They couldn't. The Sam Reinhart first goal. Not to, how that turnover happened, that shouldn't have happened. And then for the other defender to get beat like that while Reinhardt's falling to the ground and he scores on a goal that Stewart should have had.
I could see you scoring a goal like that. I could see you scoring a gritty goal like that, bud. Yeah, I can see that. And man, just certain plays and it was just. The loss last night was surprising. I expected a lot more. You can have as million shots on net, but if you can't get them in, and Bob's an incredible goalie. Flyers fans we saw posts everywhere after that game. Once again, Flyers let go of another goaltender for just won back-to-back cups. But we're dive more back
when you're leading, when you have 5 shots to no shots in the first couple minutes of the first period, like Edmonton did, and you're shooting, and Florida scores on the first shot.
Momentum. It's like it was.
I'm saying? Like Florida came in dictating that pace, and they knew what they were going to do. Edmonton had all the shots in the first period. Florida gets 1 goal off 1 shot, and then after that, it started.
It was it. Well said. Well said. Once again, we got Jeremy here, and we're going to lead into one of our favorite segments that we love to do. And as many times as Jeremy's been on the show, this is the first time that he's ever been a part of Gut Checked. So Ryan, if you want to take over here, we can get ready for our little Gut Checked.
All right, Jeremy, this is my favorite game. I hope you like it too, bud.
Sponsored.
But it's sponsored, first off, it's sponsored by Digital Elements. Looking for a website designed by one of your top companies around? Contact DE on their social media and their websites.
Great guys. Shout out to Ryan. Great hockey player, great creator. Lots of props. All right, Gut Checked. Excited for this one. Ryan, I'll let you take the floor.
All right, Jeremy. So I have 5 questions for you. First answer that comes to your mind, ring it off. Kind of go around the room, kind of talk about each other's kind of questions too. But we'll start number 1 for you, an easy one. Favorite player growing up in the NHL?
This is going to sound a little weird, but Theo Fleury.
Oh, wow.
Theo Fleury.
For some random reason, I mean, I really wasn't growing up that big of a hockey fan. I've always been a football fan. But for some reason, like, I know they weren't really, I don't think, a championship team by any means. But like the late 90s Calgary Flames, for some reason, I kind of latched onto that team. So
Interesting.
I like that.
Ryan,
Back when Joe Newendike was on that team.
Well, Newendike.
Joe Newendike was on that team.
I like it.
My favorite player growing up, Steve Yzerman. You know that answer already. Franklin?
I mean, I'm a big Pavel Datsyuk fan. Fedorov was a Forsberg. Those are probably my top 3 guys.
Always good answers, fellas.
All right,
number
question.
2 for you, bud. Your favorite Stanley Cup moment from your whole
for me,
life.
that's got to be the 2 goals in 17 seconds Blackhawks. I mean, like, there's not any more exciting endings to a Stanley Cup final than something like that happening.
What year was that?
2013.
Good. Forget about that 2010 year. You know the rules.
That's where I thought he was going for a second.
I honestly thought that he was going to the Patrick Kane goal. Not only was it a huge goal, but just a little jab at his friends from Philadelphia.
This would have been the fastest gut check in the history of gut check right here. Only 3 seconds long.
Jeremy throws a few chirps out there, but he always does it when you're not expecting it.
Yep.
Yeah, Ryan. Favorite Stanley Cup finals moment.
Wow.
I have 2. Want me to go? Then
you go first, guys.
Mike Richards, the shift against Montreal was probably one of my favorites, and then obviously the Claude Giroux shift against Sidney Crosby, and then with the goal right after. Those 2 are probably some of my favorites. I mean, they both were so good. The shift with Richards was incredible. Yeah, I think I like that one better.
For me, I'm going to throw back to when I was a little kid, 1998, when the Red Wings beat the Capitals to win their back-to-back. They did it for Konstantinov. I think that was, as a kid watching that was beautiful.
That was Russian 5 too, wasn't it?
Him standing up in the crowd and waiting for everybody. So 1998 Stanley Cup, Capitals and the Red Wings when they went back to back for Vladdy.
Well said. Great moment. Next question.
All right, number 3. Past or current NHL player you would like to meet? I know we talked last night about someone else.
Good question.
Got anybody else in mind?
I'm just gonna go with the guy whose jersey I'm wearing right now, Teuvo Teravainen. It's probably like one of my more favorite active players. My favorite player is Duncan Keith, who is obviously retired, and I did get the chance to meet him. But yeah, no, a good 2-way forward, not producing the way that I hope he would have produced coming back to the Blackhawks. But injuries and such throughout the years, I'm sure have taken a huge part in how he plays the game now compared to how he was when he was on the team originally. But still a big fan.
Love it.
Franklin?
My current favorite player right now, honestly, is probably Mathichuk. I'm sorry, the one I would like to meet. So Mathichuk looks like such a good time too. So I may not change that.
The whole family looks like a good time to hang out with.
Yeah,
after watching all them videos of Big Walt down there driving the golf cart around.
That's my current. Pass would probably be Yager. I mean, he just looks like a good time. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, those 2 are my 2. Because I met Claude a few times. I got to know Claude really well. So like he would have been my player, but like I got to meet Claude already.
Oh, yeah. I think my current guy would probably obviously be Konechny. That's my boy, my guy, my favorite flyer. So probably him. I think me and him would have a good time hanging out together probably.
You and TK just
yeah. Dude, it'd be nuts. And I think in my past, it would probably be Shanahan or Yzerman probably just to sit there for a couple minutes and just pick their mind about just everything, especially Shanny. Definitely Steve Yzerman. He's one of my idols. But Johnny, just to pick their mind.
Johnny was really cool to meet too. Like I'll talk about some of the players I got to meet. Like Johnny was really awesome to meet. So was Maddie. Tony D'Angelo is a character and a half. Just says whatever's on his mind. I got to meet him quite a few times with some of the tournaments that we do. I mean, he'll be at Checking for Charity, so Ryan will have the opportunity to meet him.
Yeah. I got to meet Scotty Lawton when he was with Philly. I met him at an event.
Funny.
He was awesome. He's
hysterical.
It was the best. He had me laughing the whole time I was with him. The stories he told me about like Lindbaum and Hazy, I'm like, bro, like. Where do I sign up to come hang out with you guys, man? Because your stories are insane.
Let's go. Question number 4.
All right. This is a big question for you, Jeremy, all right?
Oh, here we go. This one's my question.
This is the big one. If you played hockey, what position would you want to play?
Let's go.
You know, I would love to say something like goalie, but it would probably be the position out of all of them I would suck the most at. And at the same time, I hate like having to be like the guy who carries the team on the back, because if things go wrong, they always look at the goalie first, it seems like, you know, but like that's basically like the cornerstone of the team. So like putting myself in that position would probably be like a really cool opportunity.
I would have said goalie for you too. Jeremy's got goalie written all over him. Goalies are just a whole other character, and Jeremy's one of our favorite characters. So I would have pinned you as a goalie.
While he was going over his answer, I was paying attention to Jeremy was talking. I can see him being a forward because I can see a little bit of the Hanson brothers in him with the hairdo, the glasses. I can see the Hanson brothers in him.
Shout out. Let's go. You know what, dude? Let's go.
I can see it. I'm looking. I'm like, he looks like a damn Hanson brother. He can be a forward or the
Jeremy. All the years I've known each other, we've been friends for 4 years, and I've never once ever made the comparison with the Hanson brothers, and Ryan hits it immediately. Just an enforcer.
I will take it as a compliment. So there you go.
Jeremy being an enforcer out there. Just being an enforcer. Final question.
All right, final question. This is a new question to the segment. I'm excited to hear all the answers to this. Your favorite NHL broadcaster?
Oh, good question, buddy. That's a good one.
You know, Doc probably. You know,
because
he's the most iconic. I mean, like, I can go with the local broadcasters that I've always known of, but, basically that's the voice that everybody nationwide always remembers when they think of hockey.
One of my favorites of all time. And also, like, I don't remember his name, but the Ray Bork call. After 22 years, Raymond Bork. I know that was
my pick. Gary Thorne. My pick, Gary Thorne. Gary Thorne, I loved him growing up as a kid. That was my guy. I love Jim Jackson, obviously from Philadelphia. Yeah. Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond. They do the Red Wings game. But growing up as a kid, you get those goosebumps, man, when you hear Gary Thorne. Off the floor, on the board, Paul Kariya.
My God,
that Steve Yzerman goal from the blue line. Yep, the Steve Yzerman against the Blues in overtime from the blue line in 1996. That goal that gets you pumped up.
Dude, the Paul Kariya goal, not to take it away from you, dude. Not to take, but you're right, dude. One of the best calls, the Ray Bork call, and Doc was a great call. But I just watched that video, not to take it away from what we're doing here, but the Paul Kariya Scott Stevens hit, lays him out, literally looks dead, and he comes back with a blast. And it's crazy because the video I watched had the music in the background. That was it was like that. Yeah, it was like that cool music, and dude comes back and just explodes with a blast. Like, dude, I'm getting goosebumps, dude. It doesn't
Thorne,
get any better than that.
Yeah, Gary Thorne, just the way he was.
He looked dead.
Just the way it sounded. Yeah, just the way it sounded. But a question for you, Jeremy, about the question I just asked. When I wrote that question, you being from Chicago, why not Pat Foley?
Well, I think because most of the big iconic calls a lot of times come from the playoffs, and after about the first round, I believe it is, the local broadcasters kind of set aside for the nationwide broadcasters. And so when you have those sort of goosebumps moments like you're talking about, a lot of those are going to come from Doc. Then they're going to come from game 72 of the regular season or whatever it might be. And these are things that everybody knows about. I can tell you about moments that happened in past Blackhawks seasons that you guys would not even recognize unless you were watching every game the way I was watching every game. So I figured go with that obvious choice because everybody is going to know it, but at the same time, it's going to be something that's really going to resonate the most.
Love that. Well said. Once again, Jeremy just hitting it on the button. And that is our Gut Check segment. Once again, Gut Check is brought to you by Digital Elements. Great stuff all the way around. Great questions.
Good job, buddy.
And great answers, great questions by you, Ryan. Just absolutely continue to impress and absolutely do. You'll be a great host one day.
I'm liking the old school questions. When we ask for favorite players, everybody's like, we had a couple of Joe Sakic's. Now we have a Theo Fleury. That's my favorite question. I'm excited for. I know we're just building a roster.
Let's build a roster, dude. Let's build a roster. Throw Jeremy in there as the Hanson brother. The Chirping Pucks takeaways from the Stanley Cup Final. This will be our final take on the not the final take, but the takeaway from the Stanley Cup. And I'll start off with this one and let you boys then take over. But my biggest takeaway from this is how big of an impact the Brad Marchand trade was. 100%. I know how good of a player he can be, leader. He's obviously already on a team with Florida that has a ton of leadership, but he still showed it. He still played his game. I knew he was going to play well, whether he was setting players up or doing his, getting them inside their heads, but he was an absolute monster, and he was a huge impact in this Stanley Cup final. I think without him, I don't know if they win, or at least they get to 7. But without Brad Marchand, he was a big piece, a big piece of that game. So that's my final takeaway. Ryan?
I think going back to Brad Marchand, I think for him coming over in the trade, everybody in the world were saying he's not going to fit in well. He's a top, he's the top 6 guy. He's a first line center, winger, wherever you want to play him. He comes to Florida, takes a third line role, and kind of being that veteran guy in the locker room, getting the young guys, getting them going. Nobody expected that. They thought he was going to come in there. He wants to be a first line guy. He doesn't want to teach this, and
Team
that was
player.
surprising. Was he came in and I think he changed that whole room around from where it was already. They had injuries with Kachuk getting hurt at the nation game.
The 4 Nations, he was out for a while.
Sure, you're not sure what he's going to do. You had Reinhardt hurt for a while. They bring in Seth Jones at the trade deadline to boost that defense line up. Nate Smith played a hell of a season. Him coming from Winnipeg and what he's been through. Ekblad and Forsland, that duo together that killed the blue line.
One of the best coaches in the world right now.
One of the best coaches, being in the league for almost 30 years, and now he's winning back to back.
Crazy.
So I think Marchie coming in helped them get to that top of the mountain, and him taking that little role as the third line guy to be that veteran presence in the locker room that they need.
I like it.
I think he was 10th, but I think there's just more than just having Marchie on there. You had, like I said,
the whole team,
Jonesy coming in. Yeah, Jonesy coming in. Bobrovsky standing on his toes. Vanacek, the backup goalie, when they needed him, he stepped up and came in there.
I don't even know who the hell that is. Vanacek?
The guy, it's the guy that replaced Stoley when he went to Toronto. So
another good Flyers goalie.
Vanacek was a journeyman. He was the Devils. He was with the Sharks and all that stuff. But I think what Zito did at the trade deadline boosted him up. So I think my take out of that is I think Florida deserved it once they made those trades at that deadline.
Yeah, great trades all the way around. Good stuff, Ryan. Jeremy, what do you think?
All right, so if you look at this Florida Panthers team, they are only the 3rd team in history who has been able to do the repeat, or even more than the repeat. So that is something that can really be said for them. When it comes to that team, there's a difference between defense wins championships and defense loses championships. So the name that I'm going to throw out for the Florida Panthers is going to be Gustav Forsling.
Wow.
I'm going with that Chicago connection instead of the Seth Jones connection, because that's really where everything lied on shutting down Connor McDavid. And so that's the guy that you really, really have to look out for. I believe he's a little bit younger than Seth Jones. So that is that defensive cornerstone for that team. When you look at the other side and the unfortunateness that's going on with Edmonton, look at a guy like Corey Perry. Corey Perry has been the loser of 5 of the last Stanley Cup. So we want to talk about where does things pick up and go next for the Edmonton Oilers. Where do things go and pick up next for Corey Perry? Because talking about Brad Marchand and where he is in his career and him still having the juice, it does seem like Corey Perry for his age still has the juice as well. And I think he wants to grab one more cup since his other cup was back in, I believe, 2007.
Oh, gee, I think Corey Perry's done. I think Corey Perry is absolutely toast.
No, I don't think so. I think you're going to get. I think he's going to find a team, maybe like a 1 or 2 year deal for Corey. Just
where another contender.
After seeing how he played in the Stanley Cup Finals, he had that big goal in Edmonton that tied it up. He still has it. It's just he went to Dallas, lost. Went to Tampa, lost. For a while there, he was losing, but he was joining them.
I washed my hands with Corey Perry. Call it quits, brother. Good career.
But you got to look at the big picture. What's going to happen now? Where's his lead for Connor McDavid? Where's his lead for Leon?
There's a lot of
goalies
concern
now. What's going to happen now with the goalies? What's going to happen with Stuart Skinner? What's going to happen with Pickard? Where is this team
you need a goalie.
now?
You need a new
Where's this
goalie.
team go?
You don't trust either one, obviously. If you start going back and forth, like even with the Flyers in 2010, we were talking about this last night with the back-to-back goalies. We had Bush, and then he got hurt, and then we had Leighton. You know, when you every team that gets to the playoffs and gets far, like you have a number one guy. That's why look at Florida, Bobrovsky. Like when you have that back-to-back goalies of like, oh, we're gonna go with this one, we're gonna go with this one. Doesn't that show concern in your goaltending that there's an issue here that we don't know who we're going with? I mean, do you not think that the coaches are thinking about, man, should we have put the other one in? Should we put Picard in, who was 7-1? But no, they went to the guy who they thought was their number one. Maybe that came back to bite them in the ass too.
I'll give you a good hint right here for goaltending issues. You look at the Philadelphia Flyers, and I know it's off topic a little bit, but I feel like this topic needs to get brought up, especially with Jeremy and his knowledge of hockey.
We are going into NHL talk if you want to save it for that.
So I'll get this off my chest right now. Look at Philadelphia with the goalie thing. You lose Carter Hart to all the stuff that's going on. You don't know what's going to happen with that. You get for Doltov, you have Eriksson, and you have Kolosov. So every other game you're flip flopping your goalies. Eriksson plays strong. He has a couple wins. We're going to sit him. Fedotov comes in. He blows a couple games. He gets on a winning streak. Kolosov comes in. Doesn't want to go to the minors. He wants to stay here. Stuff like that. So it's every team's going to run into their thing and their goalie issues. And looking at Edmonton, I think that's the big picture. Where do they go with that?
It's a great point, but I want to make a comment on that, Ryan, because look at the two different teams. Edmonton with their goalie situation, the Flyers with their goalie situation. We're not contending. We need to find out who we have. So putting in different goaltenders is for us to find out what's happening. Now, Erson, listen, played great. When Hart went down, not went down, but when Hart was removed and Erson jumped in, I thought he played really well for the situation that he was put in. 100%. He's not a starting goalie, but he did really well. You had to play Fedotov because you had to see who was going to be the backup and what the future was. Kozlov, once again, same situation because we're still in that rebuild. With Edmonton, they're win now, and they have goalie troubles, maybe even worse than the Flyers because of the situation. They need a goalie. They have the firepower, so they have Draisaitl, they have McDavid. I mean, Perry, you get what you get. Nurse, decent, tough guy. You need more players, but you're paying so much. And I mean, they're a year or two away from being a dumpster fire, I think, because they have so much money locked up with Draisaitl and McDavid, and they have these other two lines that just are like, I mean, listen, Hyman's a huge loss. Huge loss. Could be an absolute difference maker if he's there. Honestly, incredible player. But they're a year away from a lot of concern.
One more question, and Jeremy, this is for you. I'd like to get your take on this as well.
I'm going to ask our IceWorks guy, Edmonton. I'm on a live podcast right now. Chirping Pucks. Edmonton. Did you watch the Stanley Cup final? Do you think that there's a lot of goalie issues with Edmonton right now? You heard it here himself. My guy from IceWorks. Thanks, brother. That's
where do you, Jeremy? Where do you see with the Panthers next season? Obviously, with the free agent stuff, they have to sign Bennett.
Yeah, they got three players.
What's going to happen to Ekblad? Where's Marchie going to go? What's your take and kind of what's your thought process of where do you think Florida's going to go with them three players? Did they bring them all back? Did they let one walk? What do you feel on that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult. I mean, like I said, for me, like not having the information of knowing about what the cap space is and, what that situation is going to look like. That Sam Bennett is going to be looking for a bigger payday at this point, considering what just kind of conspired, for him here. So like, are they going to be able to keep him? Are they not on that back end? Seth Jones, I will say it as a Chicago Blackhawks fan, we wasted a lot of money on Seth Jones, and he was supposed to be that cornerstone of the defense and that
he stunk.
That really big, like veteran presence in the locker room. And he was never really that guy.
He was a boob.
Yeah. And so now he fits in pretty well with another team of veterans, but he's going to be looking for some sort of big contract as well at some point here.
Well, he'll deserve it. It's
going to be hard to keep him up there.
Yeah, he'll deserve that. No way. You got to keep that.
How do you feel about the back end? Like with Ekblad, obviously talking about Forsland and how he was a powerhouse for him. With the talks of Ekblad kind of leaving too, do you see him taking kind of a hometown deal, maybe taking a little bit less for money to kind of stick around there? I mean, do you feel like this team's willing to run it back again?
I mean, it really comes down to the culture of that locker room. And, if you were saying that they did make it to the Stanley Cup Finals that one year, and then after that, back-to-back wins, like they're in like a really strong position as like a core group. And I think to a certain degree, anything that's going to want to break them up, they're not going to want to do.
No,
They
they're not
have
going to.
way too much momentum going on right now. It's hard to say anybody really takes like hometown deals anymore, because the money is always the money. Everybody seems to want to go where the money is.
How much money you
but
gotta
when
make,
you're
though?
locked in the way that they're locked in, it's hard for me to think that he would want to play anywhere else.
Let's run it back. Let's run it back.
Answer, yeah.
It's hockey players that want to play hockey. Like look at Ilya Kovalchuk. Like he was here for like 15 years, getting paid the big bucks, and he just rock and rolled the integrity. This Florida Panthers team is led by a coach who's been dismissed, who was fired from Winnipeg and now had a shot with Florida and won back-to-back cups as their leader. You bring in Matthew Tkachuk, and another incredible leader, my top player who I would build a team around. The camaraderie behind this team, they don't want to disappear. They're hockey players. They're not. I mean, of course, they're being paid. I don't look at this team like in it for the money. Dynasty, glory. I think that 2 out of those 3 players are coming back, and I do think Bennett does come back.
Yeah, and to this day, I still say that.
And to really kind of talk about like what the culture of this team is like, there's injuries that pile up in the Stanley Cup playoffs, in the Cup final and so on that you hear about. But, Matthew Tkachuk did an interview last night where he just simply said something like, I tore something. He didn't get into the details or anything. Obviously, he knows what happened. But to him, that was an afterthought. The thing that mattered the most was going out there and playing hockey and winning it for and with his team. And so that's what you call dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Jeremy. I still say to this day that Huberdeau Tkachuk trade changed the whole franchise of the Florida Panthers.
Absolutely.
I believe it. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think when they traded Huberdeau to Calgary for Tkachuk, that traded the whole landmark for that team.
Absolutely. 100%. And like Tkachuk was still that guy that was like, people knew who he was, but obviously you're playing with Johnny and you're playing with some other studs. He's the identity. He is the identity of the Florida Panthers. And what an incredible team. And just real quick, congratulations to the Florida Panthers on back-to-back Stanley Cups. Congratulations to the Edmonton Oilers to getting back there, which is, I couldn't even imagine, like getting back to the Cup. Panthers are the real deal. They're a team, and this is my final take. They're a team that is likable. They're relatable. They're fun. They're gritty. They play. They love the game. Like, they're fun to watch. It's hard not to be a fan of the Florida Panthers. Even bringing Marchand on, a lot of people didn't like Marchand, but like watching him and the way that they played, I'm a fan of the Florida Panthers. I'm a fan of Florida. I'm not going to be wearing the jerseys, but I enjoy watching the Florida Panthers play.
You want to.
And can I correct myself for a second here?
Of course you can, Jeremy. Then we're going to transition.
I actually did the wrong stat. So when I was talking about back-to-back, I wasn't talking about back-to-back cup winners. It was back-to-back cup losers. So it was the Edmonton Oilers that I was talking about, and not the Florida Panthers when it comes to that third time only. And by the way, the last time that happened was 48 years ago. So it's a long time between what the Oilers just sadly accomplished and what the other two teams sadly accomplished.
Jeremy just hitting us with knowledge. Ryan, hit us with your final take, and then we're going to hit it with the hockey players event list.
What's the final take?
My final take?
Yeah, your final take on the season for Edmonton and Florida, and we'll hit Ryan.
You good, Jeremy? You good?
Yeah, I think like it's all about now transitioning and looking at what's going to be happening in this draft. And, we've already kind of put to bed what this season is. A lot of what the off season is going to be about is that Mitch Marner sweepstakes and, seeing where these Florida Panthers kind of fall in line with other teams as well, if there is any sort of switches.
Yeah, go get them.
That's really the big thing. That's where the next series of fun starts. So
about to have a guest.
Do you have a take on where do you feel Mitch Marner is going to end up?
There's people that throw around the Blackhawks. I don't think we're getting him. I don't even know what the possible price tag is on that. And then the other thing is, as we spoke about yesterday, and like not to kind of throw off of that, but is Jonathan Toews going to find a way to get into the mix, through this off season and going into next season, and what kind of happens there as well. So it's a little bit more interesting than I guess a lot of your typical off seasons.
No, I totally understand. And then obviously big news today for the Blackhawks. Ryan Donato gets that beautiful extension 4x4. Put up about 31 or 32 goals last season. Had a record-breaking year for him as well. Your take kind of on Donato real quick. How do you feel about that? Does it feel good to have him coming back for 4x4, or do you think it's a little bit more, or should have been a little less?
Oh, I mean, to me, that's a deal. A guy that is at the place that he is in his career and he's already a 30 goal scorer, you're getting a bit of a deal there. So we've got the cap space right now and might as well kind of use it to the guys that we already want to lock in rather than looking elsewhere, because that's another thing that's a big deal when it comes to creating culture in the locker room, is looking at what it is that you got and utilizing that to the best of your ability rather than always looking elsewhere in a rebuild. And
Guys,
when you're always looking elsewhere, you're kind of bringing down the confidence of those younger players that you already have in the system.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with that. I appreciate for that answer, man. I was wondering all day. I was like, I got to ask that question about Donato.
Great answer.
My one thing that I'll put in here, which is it's not more so of news or anything, I'm just not really as big of a fan of thinking that Spencer Knight is the answer in goal for the longevity for the Blackhawks.
Guys, I hate to interrupt you guys, but we got some breaking news here. So I'm not going to be able to hear, guys, but we got the IceWorks legend, one of my longtime friends, the pride of Father Judge, the man who just keeps everything in control around this place, along with some of his great helpers, my main man, Jim, IceWorks guy, checking in here. First time on the podcast, buddy. Get in there.
My favorite Zamboni driver.
There's Big Ryan. Jeremy's a good friend of ours. He's talking a little bit of Stanley Cup final here. Just want figure I saw you, one of my closest friends in the whole web world. Figure I have you first time on the podcast real quick just to say hi.
Yes, sir.
And we're starting to transition out of the show, but Summer Series this weekend. You're going to be here for it?
Yes, I would. I'll be Saturday.
You're going to be here Saturday?
Yes, sir.
I'm in it. We got 2 games on Saturday. We're excited. We're
Beers
pumped
on
up
him.
to play. Ryan's going to be here playing with us as well. And
Beers on you.
Up, man. How you making out, brother?
Fellas, doing all right so far. Hopefully continue to make the ice good, for you guys and everybody else.
Nobody makes the ice better than our main man, Jim, dude. Listen, I don't want to keep you too long, brother, but thanks for checking in on the show. Listen, I got to give a round of applause for our guy, Jim, right here, man. Thank you so much, brother. Oh, dude, always a pleasure.
Yes,
Get over here. Give me a hug, dude. Yeah, my guy.
Yes, sir. All right.
My guy.
Stay safe, everybody.
Just a little surprise from our main man, Jim. Pride of Father John. Just keeping IceWorks. Keeping the ice fresh for us. You know what I mean, Rye?
Mm-hmm. My favorite Zamboni driver.
Hands down our favorite Zamboni driver.
He gives me crap because I get on ice too early.
You do get on the ice too early, but what a great show. An hour and 8 minutes in. Jeremy, just right off the bat, always continue to impress. Always honored and grateful to have you come on the show. Live here at IceWorks. We're getting ready for Summer Series. We will be back here on Friday doing another show on Saturday. We had a special guest, my good friend Jim, longtime friend of mine, go back to the high school days. Jim was a beast back in the day, dude. Don't get him back to playing, dude. I hope torment everybody. Knew his chirping pucks forward, if you ask me. But what a great show. And thank you, everybody, for checking in on the show, man. We had a jam-packed, lot of good comments. But without further ado, we're going to hit it with the Hockey Players Unite event list. And what better way to kick it off with Summer Series. Summer Series this weekend. 20th through the 22nd, Chirping Pucks hockey team will be in there. We kick off at 6:50 on Friday, live at IceWorks. Come down, hang out with us. We're going to be doing some podcasting. You'll see our good man Jim here walk around doing his thing along with the rest of the staff. Super pumped up for our second one that we have coming up, Cancer Warriors Charity Hockey Tournament for Jason Martinez. Flyers postgame, pregame, intermission on the radio. We have a charity game coming up for him. And we're super pumped up for that. I cut down some of the event lists because we had 6 of them, and some of them were a couple months away. But once again, Summer Series coming up, only a couple days away. Ryan, great show as always. Jeremy, thank you so much for being a part of this, man. We always look forward to having you. And without further ado, make sure you follow Chirping Pucks on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Follow Ryan. Ryan's putting out some good content as well. We are rocking and rolling. And once again, thanks to IceWorks for having us here tonight. We will be back here very, very soon, and we can't wait. And everybody have a great night.